والله يعصمك من الناس والله يعصمك من الناس.
Assalamu alaikum, welcome back to Nasni Podcast. I'm your host Najma and I have a guest today, my friend Sheikha. Okay, so today's topic is going to be Islam is not trendy. So the reason for this, I feel like in our community, pretty much in our community, Islam is not quite seen as something that people can comfortably
It's not
be.
a cool thing for young
Yeah,
people.
it's not a cool thing. So I just wanted to discuss it and discuss what goes into young minds, or in general what goes into our minds in our community when it comes to Islam. So the first question is going to be, what do you think is the one thing that young people shy away from because it's not trendy or normalized?
Wow. I guess for most of young people who are actually practicing Islam right now,
Yeah,
one of the things that is actually not trendy, not cool,
yeah,
I guess we're gonna talk about modesty and haram relationships. Those are the two things that most of the young people are looking forward to do when we reach on our 20s.
yeah.
So when you start practicing Islam, Islam forbids you to do them.
Yeah.
So it's somehow kind of not trendy for
Yeah,
our
people
generation.
shy away from it because
Yeah.
of that. Yeah, I would definitely say the same things. In dress codes, I feel like most of the time, in all outside countries, you can see online, people embrace
Yeah.
the way they dress Islamically.
Yeah.
I feel like it's starting to pick up.
Yeah.
But when it comes to our society here, it's still slow. You know, you have to dress a certain way that looks pretty.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be modest, but
But-
pretty. So it's like, I'm going to wear that scarf, but I need to look pretty in it. Like, if I don't, I'm not gonna wear it.
Yeah,
You know?
that's so true.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick an abaya, it has to somehow be flattering. If it's not, then I don't want to wear it, which beats the purpose of modesty,
modesty, yeah.
when what it means for Muslim people,
yeah.
how it's supposed to do, what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
And when it comes to haram relationships, I mainly would actually, yeah, it's both ends from girls and
And boys.
boys, but I would lean more on guys, I think, because for women, I feel like even if you were to decide, I don't want to have a relationship until I get married, it's not gonna be like, huh, seriously?
Yeah,
Like, people
you do
just
that
be,
at this age?
yeah, people will just probably just be like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
But then for male, there's this more pressure of like, hey, you have never had a girlfriend.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know, like they start making fun of you. When you're a guy,
Yeah,
like, what else are you gonna talk about?
Yeah,
You know, if it's
yeah.
not relationships, women and
Yeah,
stuff like
definitely.
that. So you feel like you wanna do something, or you shy away from something. Maybe you believe in, but I don't wanna have a relationship.
Yeah, I guess that is true. For men, have it more harder than us.
Yeah.
But for women, it's actually kind of more tempting for us because
Okay.
when you, in that I can say, when you live in a university lifestyle,
Oh yeah.
where you see most of the girls are being, pampered with boys.
Yeah, beautiful.
Beautiful pampered with boys. So for most of the Muslim young girls who are practicing, example is me, if you're not firm on your deen, if you're not really like, I want to practice this, I'm really firm on my deen, firm on my determinations and everything, principles, you're going to fall in that
Into
kind
that
of a
trap.
lifestyle.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you see, you like it, nobody does it, like, nobody hates being flowered. So I guess it's like the most non-trendy thing about Islam.
Yeah.
And modesty, yeah, we do dress modestly, but we do it in the wrong way.
Yeah.
We don't dress, I guess I would definitely say that we dress more for the society than for Allah, because when you dress for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you would make sure you go and abide with the
Yeah,
rules
your
of modesty.
only interest is to please Allah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we should look at it in a sense that, let's say if you have this big diamond, you're not gonna walk around where everyone is just like looking at it, because
Yeah.
you'll be scared of it being stolen. You definitely hide it.
Yeah.
So for women, it's the same. because we are that.
We are that precious jewel.
Yeah, we are that level of high in Islam.
Yeah.
We shouldn't take it as a low. It's
Okay.
definitely a high. Have you ever found yourself not doing something for the sake of Allah due to what people might say or think of you?
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Should I ask you the same question?
Of course. Definitely.
Okay. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Being honestly,
Mhm.
yes, a couple of times.
Yeah.
I have done things. I have stopped myself doing some things because I don't wanna make people think I'm an extreme Muslim. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. I don't want people like, okay, she's an extreme Muslim and everything. So especially when you're friends, when you're like with friends.
Yeah. Or
You know,
family.
there are certain things you're like you really wanna do,
Mhm.
but then you end up not doing them because of what they're gonna say.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give an example, a real life example. So I went to a restaurant with my friends, and we are like eating, you know, and this like waiter came to me and like told me like, there's a praying place. Like, if you wanna pray, you can go pray. I really wanted to pray at that time and not take my salah for another time.
Yeah.
But then I was so scared to
Yeah.
move from there and go to pray because I was like, they're gonna think that I'm so extreme.
Yes.
You know?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, so when I moved from there, I moved with guilt, you know.
Mhm.
I can't believe I stopped praying
Yeah.
just because
I was in a group of friends that might have said
Say-
something
yeah.
about
So-
me. Yeah.
that guilt made me stop my, yeah. So from that day, I was like, no matter what happens, I'm gonna put my religion first, my
Yeah.
deen first, then
Yeah.
comes second.
Yeah.
But yes, I have experienced that.
Yeah, and it goes back to the fact that Islam is not trendy, or Islam is
Yeah.
not something that's, taken seriously sometimes. So that, yani something like that should have been normal. Like, mtu akikuona going to pray, it's like, of course she's going to pray. But
She's
then,
a Muslim, she has to pray.
yeah, but then now it will have been, hey, yani, you are like this
Yeah, you pray.
ukti, and like all of these
Okay,
words, and you
yeah.
don't want people to start saying those things,
Things,
subhanAllah. Yeah. So in my case, I would say the same, and just in general, I find it hard to say no sometimes.
Yeah.
You're in a gathering of friends or family, and let's say they're playing music, or like maybe they're gossiping, maybe they're doing, and if you move away from that, like let's say exclude yourself,
Yeah.
or like say something like let's not listen to music,
Okay.
you're so scared to do that because you feel like you are not fun,
Yeah.
like
You
what?
don't fit in.
Yeah, you don't fit in, like you're an outcast. So
I guess I would advise myself and other people, like if you're dealing with that feeling of always like ending up being in the middle of your lifestyle and everything, so maybe you should just have this mentality of knowing that at the end of the day, it's you and Allah.
yeah,
At the end of the day,
definitely.
okay, so you stop praying because of your friends, right? God is not gonna judge your friends, gonna judge you.
Yeah.
Okay? So I went and like I did not dress modestly because of what my aunties and everyone is gonna say. But at the end of the day, who's gonna be judged? It's me.
Yeah.
It's me. It's only gonna turn back to you because you know what is right.
Yeah.
And you neglected it, which is far more worse.
Yeah.
Neglecting it for someone else.
Yeah.
So I guess it's just like
And sometimes, to be honest, I think it's just shaitan. Because, like, once you actually stand your ground, let's say in a situation like you don't want to listen to music and you're in a group of friends, someone switched on some music, right? And you're like, can we not listen to that? Yes, they're going to say something for us a few times, but then they'll understand, okay, when we are with her, there's no music. And then it just sets a boundary or respect of who you are and what you stand for. So at the end, it's not as crazy as we think it is.
The more you do it, the more people will start developing that habit into you. They will start fitting into your life, not you fitting in their life.
Yeah, like if we all just stand up with our own
just stand up and
ground.
be like, okay, this is not right, so we're not gonna do this. I guess people are gonna like leave it up for us.
It will be normalized. People will be used to it. So it's just a mindful pressure, that we need to get.
We should work on it.
Yeah, we should overcome. Have you ever had a time where you are not a practicing Muslim, and why?
A practicing Muslim. Okay, there are people who are lucky to be born and start practicing Muslim from age of 7.
Yeah.
You know, I have people like that. I have my cousin from the age of 7 praying until now, mashallah.
MashaAllah.
So, and there are people like us, me, in myself, I say, I found Muslim. I found it in me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I have had a life where I was not practicing Muslim.
Yeah. And that's real. That's real.
That's real.
I have also gone through that phase where I wasn't a practicing Muslim. The reason I wasn't a practicing Muslim before is because of a topic we've spoken about already. We called it childhood lies. It's another episode. Everyone should watch it. But pretty much I feared Islam because from the young age, the immediate thing wasn't love Islam. Allah is loving and forgiving. The first thing is like, you're gonna get punished, you're gonna go to hell. What? You're not doing the stuff? Hell. You're lying? Hell. You're this? Hell. So like from a young age, it was imprinted in my head that Islam is scary. Islam is just about punishment, you know?
And everything, yeah.
So I never myself went above and beyond and said, let me just look into it myself. I just went with the flow that it is scary. So like I shied away from actually even trying to be a better Muslim.
I did not practice Islam because of I didn't know who I am.
Especially when you're young, yeah?
I was actually living a life of I was imitating my friend's life. You know, the movie life.
Yeah.
So everything I used to do was influenced, was not actually me.
Yeah.
And so funny is that I started practicing Islam in a phase where most people don't practice Islam.
Exactly.
The university life.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So when I went to university, I remember like I had no friends, no high school friends, no secondary friends. It was just me starting a new life. So at that moment, I started finding what I really like. You know, you dress. I used to dress like not modestly. So when I walked, I was like, okay, this is uncomfortable for me. Yeah, this is so uncomfortable for me. You know, I could wear something like showing my things and I'm like, no, this is so uncomfortable. You know, every time I was like hearing the adhan or people are praying, you know, inside my heart I was like, you know, I should do that. Yeah, I want to do that.
It pulls you there, but society also pulls you
there. I guess I found me.
Yeah.
That's why. So I did not practice Islam because I did not really know who I was.
Yeah. Have you ever faced a low in your iman, and how was that experience for you?
Okay, low iman. You know, we have different low imans. I can say. For me, my low imans are the days where I don't feel like doing the most. You know, there are days when you wake up and you do the most. You pray Fajr and the Sunnah. You pray dhikr. You do dhikr, you pray tahajjud, you pay witri, you do everything. You know, those are days where you do the most. Like, and then there are days where you wake up. I don't know if people have them, but you actually don't feel like praying.
Yeah.
You don't feel like doing anything.
I think a lot of
you don't
people
feel
can
like
relate to that.
Doing duas. There's just like this heaviness in you. So my low iman days are there. I experience them. I still experience them, and I'm gonna experience them as long as you're practicing Muslim. It's something that is there. How do I deal with them? First of all, the first thing I deal with my low iman days is I set the bare minimum. You know, no matter how low my iman is that day, these are the bare minimums I should do. Pray 5 times.
Correct. Subhanallah. Yeah.
No matter what iman you're having, okay, 5 pray. And you have to pray 5 times. Okay? Dress modestly. No matter how low my iman is, I won't go out my house not wearing modestly.
Yeah.
Okay? The third thing is like, no matter how low your iman is, there's this like, just even 2 pages of Quran, 2 surahs, you know, do that. Low imans have days, I don't know. I usually experience them for 4-5 days. Okay, so at those days, I make sure I don't miss out.
They're compulsory.
Okay, I do the bare minimum. The reasons of your low imans, trust me, my reasons of low imans are sinning. The moment I sin,
Subhanallah, literally.
The moment I sin,
the
iman goes so low.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know that self-guilt? also
brings
drags
you-
back the iman.
Right, completely.
So I'm like, okay, so I don't feel like praying. I'm like, God is like, okay, this
Mad at me or
is
something, yeah.
So that is my no iman. So I try to fight with it. I actually wrote it on my diary. These are the bare minimums what I should do every time I face no imans, because I'm sure I'll face them. It's a long journey. Yeah.
That is literally like everything you said. I'm like, yes, yes, yes. Like for me as well, when it comes to like if I sin in any way, it literally the guilt is so big
yeah.
that you start feeling like maybe
When you start practicing Islam, it's not like you have actually set boundaries with the shaitan. You
Yeah.
have actually pulled him closer to you.
Yeah, correct. That's true.
And now he uses other things, like when you start practicing Islam, shaitan won't come with you through music, won't come with you through like haram relationship, won't come to you in other ways that you have lived. So it's gonna come with you in things that you do right now.
Exactly.
Okay? So like when you pray, he's gonna put the heaviness on your prayer.
Yes, correct.
Okay? So like when you're praying and you feel like I don't feel like praying, that is shaitan putting that heaviness on what you do.
Yeah.
Okay, so like shaitan's gonna test you with what you do. So the low iman days, no matter what low iman you have, make sure the bare minimums you accomplish your bare minimums.
Yeah.
You fight with shaitan. You're like at war with shaitan every day.
Yeah, that is the best advice you can hear. Like literally, that should be the end of the question. Point blank. Period. That's it. Okay. Okay. Let's move on to the next question. Is Islam hard?
Is Islam?
Mm.
Okay. Wow. No, it's not.
Yeah, Islam is
It's
not hard.
hard.
I just feel like right now, I would say in the times we are in, it's not hard, but it became hard to hold on to.
Yeah.
Islam is not hard, but the time we are in right now, the way we are evolving, I don't know, it has become hard to hold on to.
When you do things with love, like I'm gonna go pray because I love Allah, I want to pray, I need this. You start seeing that most of the sharia that are there in Islam, they're not even hard.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give an example of music. One of the most hardest thing, I guess my family, if they're seeing this video, are gonna agree with me. I was so obsessed with music. So I used to have these big earphones, and I would like, you would call me hundreds of times and I will not hear you. I was so obsessed with music, very obsessed. So like when I started embracing Islam, that was the hardest thing for me, The hardest thing for me was
Cutting off music.
So, I wanted to know why is music haram? Why is music haram? When you know the reason behind, the logic behind a certain thing, it makes you easier following it. So I started learning the story of music, how it began and everything. Trust me, at that moment, I knew that story. I was like, okay, no. This is not something I want to do. So you should learn, like go and learn everything. Something that you see is hard, like if it's haram relationship, go learn the story of haram relationship in Islam. Learn why is it haram.
I wanted to add something. What did I want to add? My mind has slipped. I just wanted to add in the saying the simplicity of Islam. Like the only time that I feel like someone will find it hard is like if you not have submitted completely. Islam, the meaning of Islam is submission. So if you're going into Islam, but you also have this thing of like I'm gonna hold on to this certain lifestyle, or I'm still gonna hold on to this, or you're going to it with like half in, half out. If you go in looking for bad things, you're gonna come out with your own reasoning of bad things. So sometimes you find someone is like, I still want to dress the way I dress, and then they're like, but let me just try it, maybe to work. Like in Tari kasheka in her mind kwamba like there's no way I'm changing my dressing. So of course akianza kujaribu, it's like I miss my life. I miss how I used to dress. It's so hard. All of this is just so like, because Tahari, it's not like she is fully submitting or he's fully submitting. There's a lifestyle she still wants.
Yeah. Islam is going to change you. When you get into Islam, just make sure that the lifestyle you hold behind your back,
You're over it.
you're over it. And a certain period of time it will reach where the things you used to think they're normal are not even normal to you anymore.
Yeah. It becomes very abnormal.
Very hard. Very hard.
You're like, whoa, did I used to do that?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. Sometimes you get so used to the way you are Islamically that you forget how you used to be. And whenever you even think of how you used to be, you're like, whoa, how did that even
You
become?
know, like you practice it like a little bit Islam, a little bit. Then at a certain point, like your whole life turns Islam.
Yeah.
Your whole life is a definition of Islam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should be.
It should be, yeah.
Yeah.
It should be.
What do you think is the one thing young Muslims should be more aware of?
I guess it's time we should start answering questions first.
What I would say is the one thing someone should be more aware of is the purpose of this dunya. I feel like if you remember the purpose often, which I think one of the perks of Salah, because what I want to say before is like everything that we are told to do in Islam is for us, not for Allah.
Yeah.
Islam is teaching us how to live and survive this world. So it's not even about Allah. Praying is not about Allah, it's about you.
Yeah.
You need to constantly go back and remember why you're here.
Yeah.
5 times a day reminds you why you're here. 5 times a day you get a breather of, sometimes you're stressed, you go pray, it releases your stress, knowing that Allah is there, knowing that, this is the test.
Like
because,
a break time from the
yeah,
world.
and what you're reciting is a constant reminder, Allah guide me, Surah Al-Fatiha,
Yeah.
all of these things. So like, you should constantly, one thing I would want people to constantly remember why you're here. For me, people find it weird. Some people find it weird that actually I find relief in thinking of death.
Okay.
I know. First you hear it, you're like, what?
Yeah.
But like, whenever I'm stressed about something, and especially when you're young, you just want everything. You want the good life, you want the money, you want a perfect family, you want everything, and sometimes it can be overwhelming because you're not getting where you want to be and blah, blah, blah. Or some of us who maybe have mental overthinking, you overthink too much. You have all of these things stressing you out. But for me, whenever I think like, at some point, this will not matter because at some point I will die.
Yeah.
And everything I'm stressing about right now is not gonna matter. If I get the money, I will die and leave it. If I get the house, I will die and leave it. If I have the family, if whatever is stressing me out, it's like, it's not going to be relevant in the long run. So then my mind is like, then there's no point of stressing too much. Trust Allah that He will give you what is right for you and what is good for you. Yeah. So for me, that is my sense of comfort, thinking that this world is temporary and the permanent one is the only thing I should be worried about.
Yeah. I guess I would also go with something like most of young people who are actually trying to practice more Islam should know that Islam is the only thing that's going to save them from themselves. Islam saved me from a lot of things. A lot of things. I remember there are certain things we do that have a long time effects in our life. When you look back at everything that Islam teaches you, Islam tells you to do, most of the things have importance. They are like equal importance to this world and Akhirah.
Yes, it's true.
When you read the story of music, you'd come to know that music gave birth to Zina. Okay?
Correct.
Music gave birth to Zina. So the moment you stop listening to music,
it will prevent you one way or the other to have the percentage of doing zina.
Yeah. So
because if you really think about it,
it's actually a lineage.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a lineage.
Allah has programmed us in a certain way, right? Let's say a car. You can put where the engine is supposed to be. You can put like a washing machine. The car won't work.
Yeah.
So like I also take that in terms of Islam. Allah programmed us a certain way to live, a certain way we are going to be able to live, okay? And if we try to not go by the manual, it's not gonna work out. There's always gonna be issues, there's always gonna be like a lot of so that's the thing, like even the music creating zina,
I guess for Muslims, our life is all programmed. There's a system.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Everything
that's why I
leads
say
to
Islam
something.
is the lifestyle, you know.
You know, as Muslims, life is a test. We're not here to have fun or find happiness or live here forever. So, like, it's always gonna be stressful, no matter if you're practicing or not practicing. Another thing people should know: it's not like if you become practicing, then you no longer have the worry of the world. That's not true. Islam tells you, with this hardship, there's ease.
Yeah.
With this hardship, there's this. Like, it gives you that peace. Living Islam is very peaceful.
Yeah.
Hardships come, but you take it in such a peaceful and calming manner.
The mindset of Islam, like, I can't believe sometimes I'm like in my sujood thanking God for a certain kind of problem.
Yeah.
It is so really like, okay, Allah, thank you for this.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with it right now, so please,
Yeah. It's
Help
like
me.
it gives you so much peace.
Yeah, it gives you so much like this. It changes your mindset, You be like thanking God for certain things. I don't know if this is nice or not bad. I don't know. But every time I see, like I pass on the roads and everything, I see someone who's like, begging, I would sit back and like pray Surah Al-Fatah at that time. I'd recite Surah Al-Fatah. Why? I just want to thank God for the life I'm living. And I would reach home still thinking of that thing I've seen on the road. And I'll still make sure that I say it on my prayer.
Yeah. It reminds you of what you have.
That what you have, what you don't.
Be thankful for all of it. All of it.
It's so beautiful. It's so
beautiful.
So
it's so beautiful. As you can tell, we are very much in love with Islam. What do you think people who are young and want to start being practicing Muslims should do first?
Pray.
Yes, correct.
Pray. You don't care. You sin, pray. You go to club the next morning, pray Fajr. I don't know what you do. I don't know your routines. I don't know what you do. Just pray, because that's where it all starts.
It starts with prayers.
Praying will change everything. You want to change, like you want to become a good Muslim. Don't, you cannot just sleep and wake up. Okay, and be like, I want to become a good Muslim and I'll be that. We start slow. Okay, so if there's one thing I would say, one step you should take is praying. I don't care if you do 2 times, 3 times, 4, 5. I started with only Fajr. I was only praying Fajr because that was the only prayer that was in my timetable. Like every other prayers were falling into my class hours, so I couldn't be able to pray. But I always made sure I prayed Fajr. But then days went on.
You adjust into your daily life.
I did not pray modestly. Okay, so when I started praying, it became hard for me to pray Asr and Dhuhr because I can't get in the masjid while wearing something not modestly. So I started wearing modestly so that I can pray. Okay, when I started wearing modestly, I started getting like this uncomfortability of praying, knowing that I talk to a lot of men. Knowing that I have a relationship. So I started ending them. That is true. When I ended haram relationship, I was actually praying, or like 5 minutes before praying, I was listening to music. Soon after praying and going back to music, then I was like, this guilt comes in. So I started learning, because I wanted to leave music. So I left music. Okay.
Literally a full circle.
Yeah. So like praying will take you step into step, step into step, until you become this person. You're like,
I don't know
how did this all happen? How did all this happen?
It just fall into place easily, just like that.
Yeah, so like start praying. I don't know, just start praying.
Same advice. If you want to start practicing, the first thing, if you're already praying, perfect your prayer. If you're struggling to pray, start slow. Lakini, whatever you're gonna do, start with praying. And everything else, inshallah, Allah will make it easy for everyone. So, our final question is, what is true Islam to you, and what does Islam mean to you?
Life itself. Islam is everything.
Yeah.
Just life itself. My life itself. My life is inside Islam. Islam circulates my life. I circulate Islam. It's everything. So, and what is true Islam to me? True Islam to me is heart. I don't know, practicing Islam, praying, wearing modestly, everybody does that. Let's just be honest. But not all
Have the heart.
have the heart, or the Muslims, the real Muslims. The intention of your heart while you're praying, the intention of your heart while you're wearing modestly, that is true Islam to me. So if you're praying because of the mass of people who are looking at you, I won't define that as Islam. So for me, true Islam is the heart, your heart, everything you do, from the charities, the intention of the heart is Islam. It's the core of Islam, the intention of your heart. Because when you look down in the Quran, you see every good deed that Allah has mentioned in the Quran, He has followed it with your intention.
Yeah.
Pray. Like shirk. Shirk has a lot of forms.
Yeah.
When you pray in order for people to see you, that is a minor shirk.
Yeah.
When you do charity for people to say, that is a minor shirk. So for me, Islam is intention, it's heart. Make sure your heart is pure.
Yeah.
Make sure everything you do, you intend it for Allah. That is true Islam. And when you do that, trust me, when you intend everything for Allah, there's nothing that you won't do.
Yeah.
There's nothing that won't, everything, I don't know, it's just that.
Yeah. You know, her answer is about to make me cry right now. It's not a joke. I'm like, oh my god, like that's like I would say the same. I would say like Islam. I need to take a minute. That was really getting me emotional. Okay. But as I was saying, like Islam is for me like it's around the same areas you're talking about. Like for me, Islam almost like saved me from a lot of things, because aside from just saved me for the lifestyle I used to live in, it saved me from myself even, in a sense of like I dealt with a lot of I still do, but it's not as bad, but mental problems. In a sense, I had a lot of self-hate, I had a lot of and I was just going through like this mental thing. I didn't know what am I supposed to be, who am I, and it's all like a mental like fog I was in. And when I was at the lowest point of my life in general, I had no one at the time. Like I felt like I lost everyone, and at the same time my life kind of stopped in sense of like education and stuff. Like there's a point in my life, like for a month or two, like I had no idea what I'm gonna do next. So it was like I had nothing, and my mental fogness just became even more. So like when I went into Islam, I found comfort there, the one I actually needed, the peace. And even right now, sometimes when I have issues, I don't necessarily always find my best friend or my closest friend to tell them. Sometimes I go and just pray and cry to Allah, and then after that I feel great. I listen to the Quran maybe, or I read the Quran, like I spend some time during that grief just with Allah. Just connecting to Him. Whatever time it's going to be, if it's at night is what I'm going through, whatever's happening is happening at night. If it's during the day, sometimes I had the longest day, I feel confused. I'm just like, it's just something in me just tells me, this is not something you should tell. Like, you could
say,
but will it give you that thing?
You could say that too.
Like, would it give you that relief that you're looking for, or will it just feel comforting? And then you're back to your same situation after whoever you talk to. So I usually spend time and just talk to Allah. Sometimes I sit there like for hours, just like either making dua or praying or whatever it is, but I just spend time there. And after that, I feel so much better. So for me, Islam saved me from so many things. From the way I dress, for the people I hang out with, for perceptions, from everything. So for me, as you said, Islam is my lifestyle. Islam is like everything, Even when I'm sinning, even when I'm not at my best, Islam is what picks me up from that. Islam is what gets me out from that.
One thing I have realized about myself is like, like we talked about Iman, but one thing is like when you start practicing Islam, when you're into it, it will reach a point where Islam becomes the foundation of your life.
Yeah.
When it cripples, everything in your life cripples with it.
Yeah.
This happens a lot of time, you know. You can even notice my low iman days without even me telling you.
Yeah.
I don't study. I am lazy. I get mood swings. I have everything in my low iman days. Okay? So like, in order to perfect my life, Islam has to be perfected also.
Yeah.
In order for me to achieve my dreams, Islam is like, you know, like, I don't know,
Yeah.
that
Like,
force, that
yeah, the
momentum I
foundation.
need and everything. The foundation of everything I need. So like, for me, I hold on into Islam no matter how much people say about it hard, I don't know, it's not cool, but I hold into it because I need it. Okay? I need Islam so much for everything. The akhirah, the dunya, everything I have, I need it.
Yeah. And exactly what you said, like, you know, sometimes when the guilt kicks in, you're low in iman, everything spirals. Now you're starting to like go to some things that you stop doing, or like trying to tap in things that like, you know, like your life just kind of falls apart.
Yeah, and it's like, it holds on everything. So like when it cripples with it. So
You cripple with it because it's what you need.
so you have to hold it on, you know. Sometimes it's like, it's so hard. No, I need you. I need to do this. Yeah.
If you needed Islam to live the life you are living, if you leave it, you go back to a strumbled life.
Yeah, to a strumbled life. So,
Because it saved you.
yeah, it saved me, and I like.
And it keeps
this kind of
saving you.
lifestyle.
Yeah. And I just want to let you know that we should be very proud of our deen, as much as everyone else is proud of whatever they're doing. You know, like, we should hold on to our rules, whether someone says they're too strict or not. It is ours. We should own up to it. We should be strong as young people, holding on to each other and holding on to our deen. It's a very crucial time, critical time, and it's very necessary if we want best for each other as sisters and brothers of Islam. It's necessary if we hold each other accountable and we hold each other's hands and say, this is the real Islam and we are proud of it. And that is the goal, to make Islam trendy or whatever, you know. So thank you everyone who tuned in to our video. I hope you took something from it, and I'll see you in the next video, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا